Hey, what's going on, y'all, man? I'm back in the building. Um, this video here is gonna be about speaking on the beginning of Islam, where it came from, the bloodline that it comes from. I'm going into depth on basically the basics of where it comes from and where we are at today and how it deceived our people, the African Americans, the Israelites, all throughout all four corners of the earth, that we have been scattered. Now, this book is mainly on the Jews, the real Israelites that the Bible speaks of. It goes into depth about our history, our true history. This book, it was written by a African American, a black man, but there was also a white man that also kind of had some type of like parts in it. So you will see the word Jewish sometimes, because they had to mix it up a little bit, but you will see that word sometimes. But when you see the word Jewish, it's really talking about the real Jews, the descendants of the people that the Bible speaks of. Okay, now in this book I got many things highlighted, so I'm gonna go over these highlighted areas. These are the most vital things that I came across when I was reading this book. This part right here, it says, when Muhammad was born, many Arabs were still worshiping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols, and Arabs possessed 360 idols, one for each day of the year. Now this right here, this is pre-Muhammad meeting the Jews, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Before then, they were pagans. They was doing the same things that the heathens was doing to other nations. They were serving false gods and stuff like that. Looking at the moon, the stars, dealing with astrology, all types of things like that. They didn't serve a god. They didn't serve just one God, right? Okay, now we're in the Bible now. We're in the scriptures now, right? Okay, this is Genesis, the book of Genesis, chapter 16. We're going to start at 11 and 12, and then we're going to go down to 15 as well, right? It says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael. Now, Ishmael is where the bloodline of the Arabians come from, right? Then it says, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Now, mind you, right, the Arabians that you see now, they are not the original Arabians. When the Europeans started coming through the so-called Middle East and so-called like through Africa and stuff like that, they intermingled with the original Arabians. So this is why when you look at them today, they're more of a light-skinned complexion, but when you go to certain parts of Arabia and even throughout Africa and stuff like that, you can find the darker skinned Arabians, because they haven't been intermingled with too much. So that's the original complexion. I ain't gonna say the original complexion, but they were a darker skinned complexion. Now this is for you so-called African Americans, you Israelites. Y'all are really Israelites. For y'all that's under Islam, y'all following the faith of Islam and stuff like that, y'all gotta understand that Yahuwah, he gave us a covenant. He made a covenant with our ancestors. And if you're following Islam, this false doctrine, this false religion, you're not going to be under this covenant, because you're following something that is not of your ancestors. Now this is Genesis chapter 17 verse 19, right? It says, and God, which is Yahuwah, said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him, not with Ishmael, but with Isaac, for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. So you have Isaac, which he buried Jacob, which he buried the 12 tribes of Israel. So he made a covenant with the descendants of Jacob, and this is still going on today. Like he said, the Bible tells us that this seed is forever, and we are still here. So we have a covenant with us, and the covenant is that we have to follow his laws and commandments, and we are going to be the ones that are going to be delivered from this land, because Yahuwah, he chose a certain people. He chose a bloodline, a royal priesthood, and we are those descendants. So this is very important. Then let's go down to verse 20. It says, 20 and 21, it says, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful. When it says fruitful, it means to build, to have kids, have children, and to be fruitful. And it says, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. That's what we see right now. The Arabians, they are a great nation right now. They everywhere. They out here, even in America right now. You see them at the corner stores. They the ones that's selling y'all these backwoods. They the ones selling y'all chips and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They are in these corner stores. They everywhere. They taking over. They're the head and not the tail, and that's a reason for that though. But we're gonna get into that another time. Then it says, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, the descendants of Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. Now, this is where it gets more important, because everything is of a bloodline. Y'all understand this is a bloodline, right? So this is Genesis chapter 21, verse 9 through 10. It says, and Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian. You understand this was an Egyptian, right? And then it says, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of his bondwoman shall not be here with my son, even with Isaac. Now, the reason why this happened was because Egyptians, that is not of our bloodline. We're Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah, he wanted to continue this bloodline like a fresh bloodline, just 100% Israelite blood. Okay, now this is the end of Ishmael. We ain't gonna read the whole thing, but this is chapter 25, verse 18. Before that it says he lived to see 137 years. Then go down to 18, it says, and they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest toward Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. So what is Havilah and what is unto Shur? So we're about to show that right now. We're about to see what that is right now as we speak. Now, see, this is why it's important to read outside of the Quran and read outside the Bible. The Bible also tells us to study to show ourselves approved. Sometimes we got to go outside of these books to get a full context of what is really trying to tell us, So it says on his business trips, he met Jews, Christians, which is really not talking about Christians for real. That's why you got to read in between the lines. You also got to have the gift of discernment. It says he integrated them concerning the tenets of their religions, which was really not religions. It was a bloodline. This is what they was brought up in. This is their bloodline. Then it says he frequented the environment of the Jews and their rabbis, mostly because they were merchants and an omnipresent ethnic group. Because he could not read or write, his ears were attentive and kin to everything that the Jews related to. Muhammad learned and extracted meaning took or stolen, much from the Jews. And when you see how I crossed out the ish, because it's really not talking about the Jewish people. Those are the fake Jews. So he extracted much from the Jews' religion, which is not a religion, it's a bloodline, and compounded it with his new religion, Islam. But I'm gonna start the video right here though. I'm definitely gonna do a part 2. If y'all want to see a part 2, definitely let me know. Even if y'all do say y'all don't want it, I'm gonna still put it out anyway, because y'all need to see this. This is all truth. This is all very important to let y'all know who y'all really are. Make sure y'all share this video.